This is the story of Eddie and Natalia Chiper, a couple whose lives appeared ordinary on the surface, but were secretly built on a web of deception, crime, and the luxurious spoils of illegal activities. Their criminal empire came crashing down in January 2019, when law enforcement agencies, led by the Criminal Assets Bureau, made a coordinated series of arrests and raids that exposed the full scale of their operations. Their story is a complex tale of organized crime, money laundering, and a lavish lifestyle that hid a far darker truth. At first glance, Eddie and Natalia Chiper seemed like just another wealthy couple living in a quiet corner of Ireland. Eddie, a man who presented himself as a painter and decorator, ran a small company called Ked Decor Limited. He appeared to be a hard-working business owner, with a modest but successful company that allegedly employed a handful of people. On the surface, the Chipers were no different from the many other working-class families in Ireland, going about their lives, living in a suburban neighborhood, and spending time together on vacations. However, their public image was a carefully crafted facade designed to obscure the illegal activities that funded their extravagant lifestyle. While Eddie was busy decorating homes, he was simultaneously building a global drug trafficking operation. Natalia, too, played her part in maintaining this illusion of normalcy. With her presence in high-end fashion, extravagant vacations, and luxury cars, she appeared to be the perfect picture of a successful, high-society woman. The Chipers were living the dream, but it was a dream built on crime. Their life of luxury involved expensive holidays to places like Miami, Paris, and exotic destinations around the world. They frequented high-end resorts, and when they weren't on vacation, they were living in their stunning, multi-million-euro home known as the White House. In 2014, the Chipers purchased a property in Tullyard, Ireland, known locally as the White House, due to its striking, gleaming white exterior. The house, which had been purchased for €200,000 in an unfinished state, would later be lavishly outfitted with expensive renovations totaling nearly €1 million. The property wasn't just a home, it was a statement, a testament to the Chipers' seemingly boundless wealth. They installed elaborate gates worth €20,000, as well as a massive and extravagant dog run, which was constructed at an unbelievable cost of €126,000. The dog run was intended to house their prized animals, including an Akita, but it was also an indication of how far the couple was willing to go in their attempt to flaunt their newfound wealth. The run was so meticulously constructed and hidden that it was almost as if they were preparing for something more sinister than just caring for their pets. Even the house itself raised suspicions. Despite Eddie's claims of being a modest decorator, the property featured luxurious custom-made fixtures and security systems, making it clear that the Chipers' wealth came from sources far beyond their official business. However, the true scope of their wealth and criminal activities wouldn't be uncovered until much later. In 2019, the facade of normalcy came crashing down when the organized crime unit raided the Chipers' White House. What they uncovered was a stash of 47 kilos of cannabis, packed and stored in pallets in the garage, waiting to be distributed across Europe. But the cannabis wasn't the only shocking discovery. The house was equipped with high-tech surveillance cameras, but strangely, the area where the drugs were stored wasn't covered by any security footage. This pointed to a deliberate effort to conceal the stash from prying eyes. Natalia was at the house during the raid, but was unable to offer a reasonable explanation for the cannabis. She claimed she had gone into the garage to fetch food for their dogs or deliver coffee to her husband, but investigators quickly realized that her involvement went far deeper than she was letting on. Eddie, who was absent at the time of the raid, had been missing for almost a month, raising suspicions that he might have been moving assets or preparing for a legal battle. The story behind the Chipers' criminal activities wasn't just about cannabis. It was much more complex and widespread. As investigators dug deeper into their operations, they uncovered a sophisticated drug trafficking network spanning multiple countries. Eddie and Natalia were not mere drug dealers. They were part of a vast international operation. The DEA, along with law enforcement agencies from the UK, Ireland, and Portugal, uncovered a network that smuggled drugs across the globe. The Chipers operation stretched from Portugal to Ireland, with Eddie and his associates coordinating the shipment of cannabis, cocaine, and other illegal drugs across Europe. Eddie played the role of the central figure in this operation, sourcing drugs from Portugal and distributing them throughout Europe. The couple had been using sailboats to transport the drugs across the Atlantic, hiding them in shipping containers and making sure that their operations were as clandestine as possible. They used sophisticated methods to avoid detection, constantly shifting routes and avoiding law enforcement radar. Even more surprising was their connection to Moldova, where Eddie had established contacts who helped facilitate the movement of drugs into Russia and other Eastern European countries. This global network enabled the Chipers to move large quantities of drugs and launder their profits across multiple borders. Their operation was far more intricate than most criminals could imagine, and it took years for authorities to piece together all the different elements. Alongside their drug trafficking operations, the Chipers were heavily involved in money laundering, using a network of businesses, personal accounts, and shell companies. They funneled money across borders, making it difficult for authorities to trace their ill-gotten wealth. Transfers of nearly 300,000 euros were discovered, flowing from Moldova to Ireland and back again, with little to no legitimate explanation for the movement of such large sums. Despite reporting modest earnings, with Eddie claiming a modest 26,000 euros per year from his decorating business, and Natalia reporting 13,800 euros, the Chipers had an extravagant lifestyle that didn't match their declared income. They lived in opulence, drove luxury cars, and vacationed in the most exclusive destinations. Investigators were able to track the flow of money, which ultimately led them to the conclusion that the couple was using their business and personal accounts as vehicles for money laundering. Further investigation revealed that Natalia, who had presented herself as a savvy businesswoman with an accounting degree from Moldova, was far from the professional she claimed to be. She admitted that her father had paid bribes to university officials to secure her degree. This admission further tarnished the Chipers' carefully constructed image. While Natalia played the role of the quiet, supportive wife, she was fully aware of the criminal activities taking place. Authorities soon uncovered evidence that she had been involved in money laundering and assisting Eddie in coordinating their operations. She wasn't just a passive participant, she was an active player in their international network. In 2019, the Criminal Assets Bureau began seizing the Chipers' assets. Their luxurious home, the White House, along with their fleet of high-end vehicles, including a Porsche Cayenne, were seized under the Proceeds of Crime Act. These actions marked the beginning of the end for the Chipers' lavish lifestyle. The White House was eventually put up for sale, with the proceeds to be used to repay a portion of the money obtained through illegal activities. In a landmark decision, the High Court ruled that the Chipers' assets would be sold off, and 90% of the proceeds would be used to compensate the state for the criminal wealth they had accumulated. The Chipers were left with a mere fraction of their former fortune, a small reminder of their fall from grace. What began as a small-time drug operation soon turned into a massive international case involving agencies from multiple countries. The Chipers were part of a vast global drug trafficking ring, which had managed to stay undetected for years. Thanks to the coordinated efforts of the DEA, CAB, and law enforcement across Europe, their extensive network was slowly dismantled. The fall of the Chipers has been seen as one of the most striking cases of organized crime in recent years. It serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of living a double life and the lengths some will go to in order to conceal their illegal activities. The Chipers' rise and fall illustrate how seemingly ordinary people can become deeply involved in criminal enterprises, and how such activities can remain hidden for years before the authorities catch on. The Chipers' story is not over yet. While their assets have been seized, their criminal network is still under investigation. Authorities are working to track down the remaining members of their operation, and the full extent of their crimes is yet to be fully revealed. Eddie and Natalia's fall from grace serves as a stark reminder that no matter how well hidden a criminal empire may be, eventually it will be exposed. Their once glamorous lifestyle is now nothing more than a distant memory. The White House, their luxury cars, and their global network are all part of the evidence that will lead to the dismantling of one of the most complex drug smuggling operations seen in recent years. For Eddie and Natalia, their luxurious past has come to an abrupt end, and the future holds only uncertainty and legal consequences. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Eddie and Natalia Chiper. To stay informed about the ongoing fight against organized crime and the changing tactics of both criminals and law enforcement, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you on the next video.